Today on Hype Deceased News, we have one of the craziest luxury ripoffs I've ever seen before, a shocking and tragic death in the fashion industry, more unfortunate news on NFTs, I don't even want to talk about these, and another very interesting appointment of a new creative director to a classic luxury brand. Let's dive in. Yo, before we get too much further, subscribe to the channel. I make tons of luxury and streetwear content, and also, if you're looking for deals on luxury and streetwear, check the description. I've got some of the best sites with all authentic stuff. Check it out. Our first story today is about one of my favorite people to talk about. And they're one of my favorite people to talk about because they're also one of my least favorite people, period. So one of the most popular videos on my channel is about Philippe Plein. And I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. People keep telling me I pronounced it wrong in that video, but I looked it up and that's what it said. But today, again, I spent 5 minutes on it trying to research how it's actually pronounced, and that's more time than I'd ever want to spend on him. So Philippe Plein, Philippe Plein, I don't care. He just released a new collection, and as part of that, there was one of the most blatant ripoffs I have ever seen in my life in fashion. And you know, fashion loves to steal stuff from each other, so this has to be especially egregious, right? And it is. So Philippe, he released a new collection with these little creatures, these different creatures that he created. It looks really tacky, it's really gross. But as part of that, he released these bags that are they're just Louis Vuitton. They're Louis Vuitton keep-alls, and they even have a crossbody. It's just pure Virgil Abloh, like those, translucent, metallic keep-all bags with the monogram all over. And even the plastic chain and the neon colors. It's really gross. Virgil just died. His body is virtually still warm, okay? And you're already stealing from him. I mean, I know that Philippe does not care at all. He's ripped off before with the Stussy Dior pattern. A bunch of his pieces are ripoffs. He capitalized on Kobe's death to sell gross, bedazzled knockoff Lakers jerseys. He used Black Lives Matter to try and get out of a lawsuit with Ferrari that he was being sued by. The dude is just one of the worst people in this industry, period. I don't know, the people who like his stuff, they're all over my comments on that video saying how I have terrible style and I'll never be as rich as him. And at least one of those things is true. I don't know. And I don't really care. He's just a really gross person. He's one of those bodybuilder entrepreneurs that you see on Instagram that all they talk about is their cars. And they'll probably try and sell you a book on how to get as rich as them that doesn't work at all and is just a ripoff. Basically, he's a ripoff artist. I said it. That's all there is to it. And this is one of the grossest things he's ever done in a long line of really gross things. Next up, we gotta really change gears here because, of course, we have to talk about Leon Talley's death. If you're not familiar with Andre, he was a fashion editor, most famously for Vogue. He was there for a very long time and probably one of the single most respected figures in the industry. The era of the big time, fashion editor, I feel is kind of behind us. There's some still out there, but I don't think anyone ever again is going to have the same stature that Andre had. And he wasn't just important because he was an editor, he was also a master networker, and not in a gross, capitalistic way or transactional way. He just really liked building relationships with these designers, and he really appreciated their work. I mean, probably most famously, you've got John Galliano. Without Leon Talley, Galliano, the brand, his first brand, would have died. He probably never would have gone to Dior. We wouldn't have Margiela now, the modern Margiela that we have. And also, in the wake of his death, I saw people as diverse as Rick Owens. Think of the difference from Galliano to Rick Owens, and you start to see how wide Andre's kind of tastes were. And Rick Owens said that it was Andre that just saw Rick Owens' stuff in a shop window and said, you have to meet Anna Wintour. And it really launched Rick Owens into the major designer that he is at this point. So this is a huge loss, and I just wanted to take a moment to appreciate everything he did within fashion. So my respect to you, Andre Leon Talley. Okay, so last episode we talked about NFTs, and I really thought that might be like the only time we talked about NFTs on this show, because it's not something I care about, it's not something I'm interested in. If anything, it's something that I dunk on and then walk away without ever thinking about it again. But these stories just keep coming out, and they keep getting like worse. They keep getting more cringy and more stupid. So I've got a two-parter here for you. First off, StockX is starting to sell NFTs. Because, like, of course they are. It was only a matter of time. They did sneakers, then they started doing clothes, and then collectibles. Of course they were going to start selling NFTs at some point. But the thing is, like, there's stupid NFTs, and then there's stupider NFTs, okay? And StockX is selling some of the stupidest NFTs, because they're selling NFTs of sneakers. So what you do is you buy one of these NFTs, and it's like a certificate that you own one of these sneakers that StockX has in their warehouse. So you're just buying the sneaker without actually getting it sent to you. And I mean, that's fair enough. I understand just wanting a certificate saying, I own this, even if I don't have it in hand. Makes sense. But the thing is, these NFTs, these certificates of ownership, are selling for more than the value of the sneakers that StockX is holding on that certificate's behalf. Like, what? You're paying more for the piece of paper saying you own it than you would for the shoes themselves? That's how crazy this NFT world has gotten. And if you wanted more proof of that, Walmart NFTs are apparently going to be a thing. They started trademarking all these like metaverse and NFT related phrases related to Walmart, and it's very clear they're going to dive into the metaverse and they're going to dive into NFTs. And hey, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe Walmart NFTs are the thing that is going to finally kill the NFT trend for good, which I think is sorely, sorely needed. So, you know what? I just changed my mind. I'm going to root for this. Walmart, you should just make NFTs of every single product you sell, saturate the market, and just kill this thing for good. Please, Walmart, you are our only hope. And finally today, we've got another big creative director announcement, and this one I think is really cool. So, you guys know the brand Bally? It's like a Swiss brand. I should have looked up how to pronounce it. It's one of those things that I've read a million times, but I don't think I'd ever said out loud until this point. I'm just gonna go Bally. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But they are a very classic Swiss brand. Very, I guess, respected, quite expensive, quite luxury, but just like boring. Like, it's the kind of luxury brand that your wealthy uncle or something would wear. Like a guy who just wants to show he's got money, right? He's gonna wear, his Rolex or something. He's gonna drive, I don't know, a BMW, and he's gonna wear Bally loafers. That's just what he does. But there's no like hype to it whatsoever. There's no real like fashion forward thinking or anything. They're just making well-made products, especially leather products like shoes and wallets and stuff like that. But they just announced a new creative director, and that creative director is Rhuigi Villaseñor. Again, I don't know how to pronounce his first name, but he is the founder of the streetwear brand, like the luxury streetwear brand Rhude, which is one of my favorite luxury streetwear brands. I'm not going to redo it. I'm just going to roll with it. You're just going to deal with my little like marble mouth, okay? So at this point, even more so than like Palm Angels or Off-White or any of these brands, I think Rhude is doing some of the coolest stuff out there in the high-end streetwear space. So if he can come in and really spice up Bally and modernize it and make it a bit more hip, a bit more street, while also keeping that craftsmanship, that heritage, all of that stuff, I think this is the exact kind of thing that companies like this need to be doing. And it's been done very successfully in the recent past at other similar brands. So I'm very, very intrigued to see what happens here, and I wish Mr. Villaseñor all the best, and I hope it goes well for him. So those were the best stories of the week. take a look at the other video on screen here, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and I'll see you next time.